He walks like he shit himself.
Not sure where I'm standing. Oh shit. Hello everyone, Stephanie Sterling here. Now, as inconvenient as this thing is, I will always wear this when we do Silent Hill stuff. Always. But yes, it is once again time for some fuck Konami news. All the news that's fit to make you say, fuck Konami.
Okay, look, I'll admit that I've not exactly been the most optimistic when it comes to the remake of Silent Hill 2, aka my favouriteest game ever. Seriously, I love Silent Hill 2 more than Vince McMahon loves not paying his sex trafficking hush money fees. But yeah, I've not been hopeful. Some may even say I've not been kind. Personally, I'd go a step even further and say I'm not being fair. I'll admit I saw Bloober Team was attached and mentally checked out of the whole game's existence, only occasionally re-acknowledging it to sneer at the fucking thing. Actually, let's be honest, I stopped having any hope for the Silent Hill 2 remake as soon as I found out Konami was attached. Such is the rap sheet of the game's own publisher. But you know what? Fine. I've not been fair, and that's not fair. So in the interests of fairness, I figured we can look at the latest Silent Hill 2 trailer, which released only a few days ago, and see if the trauma-trivializing terrible twosome of Bloober and Konami can't change my mind. Prove me wrong. Yeah, so here's the thing about being fair. Not everything deserves fair. In fact, if I decide to be unfair about something, I'm 100% right to do so 100% of the time. This is why 100% of people love my game reviews. But seriously, when you're dealing with the companies involved in this game, fairness, optimism, and hope are probably the least three relevant expressions available. This so-called combat trailer not only appears to bear my cynicism out, so too does the aftermath, in which the studio called out the publisher and compounded the idea that Konami is a fucking shit show. The trailer has been heavily criticised online following its publication, while the original announcement trailer wisely kept gameplay to a minimum and focused instead on how much gurning protagonist James Sunderland's face does now. This new footage seems to expose quite a few weaknesses. People in particular have called out the awkward stiffness of character and attack animations, as well as how shitty weapons both look and sound as they softly boop their targets. Now, I watched it and don't entirely hate it as much as some people, but it don't look great. It does look to move stiffly. What the fuck is that QTE bullshit? And did that nurse just do a little vault over a wall? I mean, overall, the biggest problem with it is it's a combat trailer. Why? It's Silent Hill 2. Either Konami's video editing department has its fucking priorities wrong, or Bloober Team has no fucking idea what Silent Hill 2's about. And honestly, with these two fucking companies, the jury's out. Now, if that were all there was, this would be a simple case of game looks shit, moving on. But in the wake of audience criticism, Silent Hill 2 Remake's developer hilariously decided to throw Konami under the bus, pushing the blame for how bad the game looks on a company said to be solely responsible for marketing it. Basically, they said the game is good, but Konami made it look like shit. Ordinarily, I'd suspect Bloober Team of being just a little too eager to pass the buck, but it's Konami. If I could trust any publisher to be so incompetent it can't even edit a trailer properly, it would be the company that has literally forgotten to advertise games it's released before. Bloober Team claims that Konami made Silent Hill 2 Remake look worse than it is, which is a hell of a thing to say about your affiliate. In a video that has since been removed but was transcribed in Eurogamer before anyone could get to it, Bloober president Peter Babiena shot on Konami pretty mercilessly. I wrote these negative comments myself, he said, jokingly referencing the negative feedback. Quite seriously, we are not responsible for the marketing side. Our partner is entirely responsible for this. This trailer certainly does not reflect the spirit of the game. Obviously, we can't yet comment on what the game's spirit will be, but considering the spirit of most Bloober Team games is decidedly mean, I'm not sure it particularly matters. Of course, what he most likely means is that the spirit of the game is not conducive to fucking combat trailers. If that's the case, and Konami did drop the ball, which is not unlikely, I reckon I'd be pissed off at the misrepresentation of my work and start slagging Konami off in interviews as well. The president expressed the belief that the real game with its real gameplay would win fans over, and he addressed criticism of the unimpressive graphics by assuring cynics Silent Hill 2 Remake would use all the capabilities of Unreal Engine 5, a promise that doesn't really mean or say anything when you think about it. To cap it off, he mentioned there is a fan base for Silent Hill 2 Remake. So far I've been unable to verify this because I haven't found him. In response, Konami hasn't responded, which is its usual response. Aside from announcing the occasional dreadful video game, there's very little evidence anybody with a pulse actually works in Konami's gaming division. But yes, Konami is one of the most moronic publishers in video game history, so it's not like Bloober's making a particularly wild allegation. I do sincerely believe the clown comics in Konami marketing could be given Baldur's Gate 3 and turn out a trailer that makes it look like fucking Two Worlds. That said, if we're using Konami's track record to suss out this situation, it's only fair we do the same for Bloober and... well, I have an entire video detailing how thoroughly bloody bad this developer is at horror games. At best, the company's output has been hackneyed horror by numbers that hit every branch falling out of the spooky trope tree. At worst, of course, we have Bloober's multiple uneducated, insensitive and downright fucked up attempts to tackle trauma and mental illness, difficult subject matter for even the most delicate of writers, nonetheless barreled into by Bloober with all the appropriate grace of a firework in a maternity ward. So at the end of the day, who can say? But since Konami is inept enough to make a great game look shit and Bloober struggles to make even good games, I'm gonna guess the truth lies somewhere in the it's probably a bit rubbish but Konami fucked it up even more region. I'll put it another way. Konami probably got the spirit wrong with a combat trailer, but the gameplay we saw is still the gameplay Bloober's making. And once again, as I've said before, I do hope I'm wrong. I really do. I might not like Bloober Team's work very much, but I've given all their games an earnest try. And Silent Hill 2 is, in my view, the horror video game. Of course I want the remake to live up to it. A world with 2 amazing Silent Hill 2s is literally better than a world with 1. But if this whole comedy drama has demonstrated anything, it's the thing we always knew. Konami is a fucking mess that can't keep a lid on its own PR. Silent Hill has not been doing well. After neglecting the series for almost a decade, Konami made a big deal out of revitalizing the seminal psychological horror franchise last year. Its bevy of announcements, however, was concerning and seemed to be motivated entirely around milking Silent Hill for as much money as possible in a short-sighted strip mining of its intellectual property value. Because Konami is Konami and Konami is a fuck wreck, all it's done since then is prove everybody right who had doubts about this return to Silent Hill. The prime evidence being Silent Hill, Silent... You know, I've genuinely forgotten the name of that dreadful fucking app they put out a few months ago. Ascension? Was it Ascension? Either way, it was the first bit of Silent Hill content in like 10 years, and yet, if Pooh had skeletons, they'd be made out of this. For those who might need reminding, and I can't remind you enough, Silent Hill Grinder Edition is a series of glorified cutscenes that they managed to cram microtransactions and a battle pass into, even though you're just watching MP4s. Just a couple weeks back, we had Silent Hill The Shit Message, aka the PT we have at home, a game so sensational and indulgent in its portrayal of mental illness, it's the most Bloober thing Bloober hasn't made. And look, I know that Short Mingus has its its sympathizers, and hey, if you think this reject from classic kids show The Herbs is scary, more power to you. But to respond to you with the delicacy and care of the game's own writers, don't be fucking ridiculous, the game is obviously fucking garbage and you're fucking wrong. Anybody who continues to disagree with me will have a curse put on their womb.
She inflicted the curse on my womb, and I gave it life.
Several years ago, I said Konami should give its intellectual property to Capcom to use. The company behind Devil May Cry, Monster Hunter and Resident Evil could work fucking magic with the likes of Castlevania, Metal Gear and Silent Hill. Just compare the sheer mastery on display with the remake of Resident Evil 2 to the fact Konami couldn't even put out a trailer for Silent Hill 2 Remake without screwing it up. The only things to have happened between my original suggestion and now have been instances of Konami further demonstrating to me that I am correct. It's the only thing Konami can be relied upon to do, to back up every low fucking opinion you could have of the twats. Gotta love them for it. It's free content and it's far more entertaining than what they're selling.
So normally I have help when I wear this for obvious reasons, but due to the fact that my ability to schedule is shit, the only window I have is a window where I'm actually having to do it on my own. So I genuinely am doing... I don't know how this is gonna turn out, because I'm incompetent even without a gigantic fucking Toblerone on my head. But either way, whether you can see me or not, because I sure as shit can't see you, thank God for me.